Okay, Rich, I want to head to you, and then we'll go to the entrepreneur. How is this impacting your investments? I assume it's getting more and more expensive to get into deals. How do you deal with that?
Well, I should say right away that I was an early investor in both Pets.com and Webvan. I've been around the Valley for a while, and just to build on John and John, and especially for this audience, this is something important to know. For every Twitter and Facebook and Google and Zynga, there are 500 companies that are great companies where their valuations are going to be normal, where it is going to be a great company that will work hard and build itself into a fine enterprise where lots of people, especially investors, will make a lot of money. So I don't too often I hear we are. Especially in presentations, we are the next Google, we are the next Zynga, that's not the way to go, because there are many, many great companies who are building themselves in ways that are important for the Irish economy, for the U.S. economy, for the global economy, and I think that that's something that we need to keep in perspective, and I think that those too often by the media get all the attention, and as my father still says, our family owns a winery, and every time he comes to the winery he says, son, the money is in toilet bowls and highway dividers, not in wineries or sailboats, and I think that that's true in the venture world as well.
Cloud storage, security.
It is, yeah.
Data mining.
I'm trying to present hope. Yeah, there's hope out there.
So having invested in Pets.com and Webvan and lived through the last bubble, is there anything, are there any characteristics of what is happening now that concern you?
Yes, yeah. I should say that a lot of you, I guess, and especially since we have, Kleiner Perkins and Andreessen Horowitz on the stage, that there is a science to this whole process, and there isn't. People are not driving up and down. People are not driving up and down Sand Hill Road, knocking on. Well, they are driving, but that's not how the deals are getting done. The best investment I ever made was a company that I was standing in front of a guy while we were waiting for our cars from the valet driver, and that's how I met him, and that's how he got the money. So I think that we need to keep in mind that there's an art to this whole process. And one of the best investors I know in Silicon Valley, when the entrepreneur comes in, his first question is, what kind of car do you drive? And what he wants to know is if the entrepreneur is driving a Prius, he'll never invest in that guy. If he's driving a put together, old custom car, or the faster the car, the more likely he is to invest.
Interesting.
Did that answer your question?
That's an interesting philosophy. I don't know if I would do the same. But. So, George, as an entrepreneur, you built 2 companies and you never took money. You guys do have a good time. So you built 2 companies and you never took money from venture capitalists. Rising valuations and ample capital, those are obviously great things for an entrepreneur. Today, would you do it differently?
I'm a pragmatic guy. I love Rich and John talking about these high valuations, because I can sit at my desk and without doing anything, add a couple of $100 million to my equity line. So thanks, guys, for pushing up those valuations. No, Irish guys tend to be pragmatic. I am originally from Ireland, and I am an angel investor at a much smaller scale than these folks. But I look on guys who will find a customer. And the companies we founded, they all grew very significantly. And we'd have a need for venture capital, but for the customers. And with Targus Info, we're a significant size now. And back in '93, when we started our company, We asked AT&T for access to their network, all the data on that network. And by the way, how about giving us 100 grand a month? And they did. So customer money was what funded our companies, guys, and we own that company today, and all of our employees are shareholders. It's honestly a great place to be if you don't have to take venture money. But that doesn't always work. So
what would you recommend to an entrepreneur today?
well, certainly don't do a PowerPoint and squeeze money out of these guys. Please don't do that. Simply find a customer. And too many times folks go out there, and I invest in Northern Ireland and the Republic, and I see a business plan, and I see the people, and you meet people every day, you meet the management, you're going to buy into the folks and the business plan, but there's nothing like buying into the customers of those folks. So my advice to a lot of the Irish companies who are here tonight, find some good customers, and then the valuations of these guys will be higher, and you won't have to give up as much as the pie to you. So
I think that's great advice.